Hello and welcome everybody. Welcome to the stream. We're just getting set up. If you're just tuning in, it's great to have you here. Trying to get the chat up just in case. Oh, so that I can see it when you guys are chatting that. If you are chatting, that is of course. It's fantastic to have you along on this Sunday afternoon. Yeah, I've now got the chat up. Now I've just got to sort it out on my side. Awesome. Right, well, if you're just tuning in, it's fantastic to have you along. I will have the chat up, just so I can read it. It may not be very quick to answer though, because obviously it's on the screen on my left and not in front of me, because we are using our model building desk. We actually have a new camera. I'm hoping that it's going to be lovely, showing all the details here, but we'll see. It should also have gestures. I don't know how it's going to work. So, we finished off last time with making, I don't know if you can see on here, but we can absolutely show it on here. We made our first one of these, and now we've got to make it again, because we need to have two. So, we're going to start immediately on with that, which is E48. So, we need to find the E, that's D. These two are the E ones. And we'll start off with, I think we did everything on that one. Now we need to open up this one. So we need two E48. So I'm going to move that out of the way. And we're just going to grab this. So we need two of these. One and two. Oh no, sorry, no. Yeah, no, we do need two of these. We need two of everything. Again, I don't know why this wouldn't have just been done as a whole. Yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't do two of like just just like injection molding this entire part. I think it would have had plenty of detail. It's just a little bit too finicky for my liking, but obviously that's part of the reason why we build these. Right, so now we've got two 49s and two 48s. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to pair these off and then split them. Yeah, you may have noticed we actually have a new camera which seems to be picking up a lot more detail. We ended up buying the Instalink 360 Link 2, I think it was, Insta360 Link 2 Pro, which is in 4K. So effectively, the stream should be, or at least the camera should be at 4K, even though we're streaming at 1440. I might just turn the music down just a little bit. Obviously the music's there just to make it a little bit more relaxed, nice and easy going. I can't believe we're in the fourth part already. Averaging, or trying to average at least one a week. I've just started a new job, so it's been quite busy for me. But this is a great way to spend a Sunday, and why not share it with all of you lovely folks out there. The quality of this camera is really, really good. I'm very impressed with it. It wasn't that expensive either. Ended up getting it for about 150. It's a little bit more expensive than the old Elgato that I was using, but obviously with much better quality. Just gonna sand that bit down. Actually, it's a little bit rough. Yeah, that's nice and sanded down. We are using a separate microphone. I may switch over to the new one, or on the camera itself in a bit. We'll just have a go and see how good that is. But for now, we'll just stick with the other one. I just have to turn my head quite a bit. Yeah, unfortunately, my modeling desk is not directly on my computer desk. It's next to it, and the microphone doesn't quite reach. Let me just turn the music up a little bit more. I've adjusted the microphone now a little bit, just a bit closer, and actually in the right way, so we can get back to modeling. And you should actually be able to hear me now. We do have a light on as well. This keeps coming undone, but I don't know how to actually fix it. Yeah, we have a light right here that is providing me with the ability to see. Ah, look at that, it's perfectly smooth. Okay, awesome. Really liking that. Cool. Right, so that's that bit done, and we're also going to need E50. And what I might do is try and glue the... No, I think we should glue these separately. Just like last time. We've just got to be a bit more careful and a bit more precise. Might also add a bit onto this side as well, just to balance it out a little bit. Perfect. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to just use the tweezers here. Just lock that in, allowing it to dry. You can see, I don't know if it's actually showing up. It is actually really showing up very nicely here. And that just keeps it all nice and sealed. And we can actually do the same for the other one, because I now have found the other tweezers. same again. Dab on here, dab on here. A bit more actually in the hole this time. And then we're just going to do a small dab on here and on here. And then we'll lift this up. Pop that in there. Now, as you can see, this one's gone a bit closer together than the last one. So I'm just going to gently slide this in, being careful not to cut myself, and just wiggle that around a bit and just increase the gap a little bit. Obviously without disrupting the gluing process. I've actually wound it up a bit too much, so we're just going to press that in a little bit more. Very nice. We can now actually move to the next step, where we need to cut out E50, which is these ones right here. One and two. Now, thankfully, the heat wave in the UK has passed, so it's actually quite nice and relaxing at the moment, temperature-wise, which makes model building obviously a lot easier. Obviously, I'm aware that last episode in this was cut a bit short. May have cut just a little bit too deep there. I'm just gonna actually smooth that out a little bit. I did do a small little indent that was a bit too much. Right, we'll go back to, oh, nearly dropped it. Go back onto the first piece. I know this first piece is the one that was covered in white paint. And right, we'll make sure we get this correct. So it needs to go this side and then this. I'm just going to gently glue that in like that. And like that. We're actually just going to hold this one. This one's looking way better than the previous one. Obviously, we've got a bit more experience now than we did last time. Especially with this individual little piece, because this is obviously the third time that we're making it. So this forms one side of the double silo. Just hold this for a little bit longer. I just want to make sure that it actually sticks pretty well, and I don't want to have to like re-stick it, because that's how quality starts to drop. We're just going to pop that in here, and just to hold it for now and make sure that settles while I then glue the next one. Just going to slide this one out. Just going to check that it fits nicely. Yeah, perfect. Right, cool. So we'll do the same again. Just put a very nice layer of glue down in here. And we're going to make sure it's the right way around, which is this way. And then again, we're just going to stick in a little bit down here. And on the other side as well. And then we're just going to make sure this absolutely is flush and perfect. I can see here that it's started to bow a little bit, so I'm just going to pull that back in with this. Yep, that's looking really, really good now. Cool. So the next bit would then be to put E52 and E51s on the fronts and back. So we're just going to hold this a little bit longer. Again, it's really, really imperative that this sets properly. So I'm actually going to leave that up right over there. We're going to take this one now. This one should be relatively dry. And we're going to start off with the front here, which will be E52. These are obviously the missile covers. These would then obviously lift up and then fire the missile. So is it E50? No, it's E52s on the front. So we've got two here. So I'm going to group both of these. We got really lucky last time that we didn't lose these, even though they were flying everywhere. See, this is such a tiny little part, but at least the camera can actually pick it up now, which is quite good for you guys. Yeah, perfect. Right, so what we're going to do with this one, go at the top. No, don't worry, it was a bit of dirt. I thought it was a bit of a printing issue, but it's actually just a bit of dirt from my finger. I'm going to put one in the bottom here. Perfectorino, look at that. And we're going to do the same on this side as well, again bringing it nice and close up to the light and just trimming a large portion of that off. Put it up at the top. Add a small dabble there with my shaky left hand. Again, we'll just straighten out with the tweezers. This is going so much better than the last one. I think last time it was just a bit too hot. And because it was so hot, we were obviously rushing a little bit. Not taking our time. If you're just tuning in though, welcome. It's fantastic to have you along here on this Sunday evening. In a very chilled, relaxed way. So if you've got to go back to work tomorrow, you know, you're a little bit stressed, this is the time to chill, relax, join the stream, and unwind. And that's really what we're here for, is to create a nice, fun project that we can all relax to as well. Let me deal with the stress, and you guys relax. Yeah, so unfortunately this part hasn't quite glued properly, where I think that I kind of messed it up on one of the silos, so this is going to have to go on the inside one. So what I'm just going to do, I'm just going to mark this with the scalpel, so that I know that this is the one that needs to go on the inside. I'm going to mark it with a V for victory. Cool. Right, so then this is going to be the front. And then we need to cut out E52s again. Which are these ones? Would be nice to get this perfect both times, but my fingers are going to have to grip it, otherwise they're going to go flying. So I don't quite get the cut as quite as clean as I want to first time, but that's alright, that's alright. Oh no, I did it a bit wonky, it wasn't quite straight enough. Yeah, there's going to be a slight gap in this one. I think I went a bit too harsh on it. Oh no, I dropped it as well, which makes it even worse. Oh no, it bounced somewhere. No, I found it, I found it, I found it. This part is so fiddly. Yeah, this bit should absolutely be an injection molded part as a whole. I think it's just a bit too fiddly for someone of my skill. I'm sure there are other people out there who do not have these same kind of issues, but I'm struggling quite a bit on this particular part. It's just so small, my eyes don't work well. I guess I could look through the camera, zoom in and really get it perfect, but then there's going to be a slight delay. Okay, it's not perfect. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. You should be able to now. But there's a slight gap there. That's from when I snipped a little bit too deep. Unfortunately, there's not much I can do about that now. We could probably use a bit of filler, but then we're going to lose some of that detail. Whereas if you look on this one, yeah, you can just about see that there's some small amount of detail. Which is quite cool indeed. But unfortunately, we're going to lose that on that one because I accidentally snipped a bit too deep. Oh, my leg. Sorry about that. I just hit my desk. There's not much room to maneuver around. Right, now we've got to do E51. So the problem with obviously my setup is that my desks are next to each other to try and get the computer camera to actually run the stream. We could eventually move to like a mini PC stream somewhere else, but for right now I quite like it this way around. That one nearly disappeared. I do actually have a mini PC. I have an MSI Claw which I use to play a few games while I'm traveling. obviously this produces a lot of dust, and something like my MSI Claw probably can't handle as much dust as my desktop. Plus my desktop's really easy to take apart and clean. If you are looking at building model warships, I would certainly maybe invest in an HPA mask or something, just to try and stop yourself from inhaling like fine parts of plastic and stuff. I'm too old to care really. I've inhaled a lot worse, but if you are a bit younger and you want to preserve your health a little bit more, would certainly maybe recommend investing in an HPA mask. Also, always do this in a well-ventilated room, because obviously the fumes from the paints and the glue can be quite overwhelming. Right, that's that one done. I'm actually just going to pop this over on this side and just gently bolt that in. Like so. I'm hoping that that's actually not upside down. I did not check because I'm a silly biddy. It's okay. If it's upside down, no one will notice. Hopefully. Well, you guys will, because you're watching every process. Yeah, I could do this like some of the YouTubers and just cut out all the dry bits, like me cutting and sanding, and then just show you like the bigger bits. I thought it'd be fun for you guys to join on every single step of the journey. There will be a sped up version on the channel, obviously, once it's fully built. Yeah, just a slight like time delay. I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, there'll be a sped up version. I'll probably cut like some of the dry bits in that video. So there'll be like a shortened video if you guys just want to like see a quick build of it. But if you want like in-depth and stuff, in-depth guides, I wouldn't say I'm a guide by any step of imagination. But in case you are actually like following along and building your own one, you've probably overtaken me by now anyway. Very, very slow, I'm aware. But you might learn something, you know, and that's why I like doing it. And plus, I'm hoping to learn something from you guys. Yeah, the next build, I'm hoping to do something a bit more mainstream. Maybe like the Arleigh Burke or British ship. I'm aware that a large portion of my viewers are obviously American. You guys want to see American ships, then maybe we'll look at making one. I was looking at the other day, the Arleigh Burke actually looks quite cool. I just feel like a lot of modern ships these days look very similar or don't look very good, especially like some of the British ones. They've just got like huge obelisks on them. It's very boring to look at. It's quite a reason why I like the Chinese ships quite a lot. It's a very smooth and not very involved on the outside. So they don't have like huge obelisks. They're actually quite nice, smooth, geometric shapes. Those who know, and those who don't, I would recommend looking up. Maybe look up like, I think it's the HMS Dragon. It's very, very interesting citadel shape. Whereas the Chinese ones I feel are quite smooth. And I looked at the Arleigh Burke, and that actually looks quite cool as well. So maybe we will build an Arleigh Burke at some point. Maybe as the next build, but we will see. Right, now we've got to glue this all together. So we do have the big project going to be filmed later and uploaded soon. That's going to be in quite a few steps because it is a mighty project, the likes of which you have never seen. we are building a full-on gaming PC as a warship. It has arrived now. It actually didn't take that long, surprisingly. I was expecting it to take about a month. Didn't expect it to arrive until like August or end of July. It's already arrived, which is fantastic. And it is going to be a fantastic build. I've already got it roughly set up. It is incredible. Wow, I've never seen anything quite like it. So I can't wait. I cannot wait to build it. I cannot wait to share it with you all as well. My current build, HMS Illustrious 1942, was obviously modelled by myself and printed by myself, and it's not the best build or model, to be honest. It was very basic. I don't have any modelling skills, natural modelling skills anyway. Not a strong point of mine. That's why we're learning here. Just gonna gently snip that bit off with the scalpel. Right, that's that one. I don't know how to speak today. Crikey. What I'm going to do for this one is glue one side, leave it, and then glue in the other side after it's fully dry. I think last time we rushed it and it looked really, really bad. I think everyone can agree that it looked awful. I've just got to make sure I get this one the right way round. I have a feeling this is going to end up sticking to the workbench, which is going to be very upsetting and annoying. I think the smooth one goes on the inside actually here, so that is what I'm going to attempt to do. You might see my head, I do apologise. I've really got to be sure that this is correct. I think, you know what, that could actually be really, really good. If I can try and zoom in on that for you guys. We should be able to now with the new camera. Just give me one moment, let me see if I can set that up. You can just about see it there. We have hopefully what is a very delicately made and very nicely made stand. Obviously we do have to attach the other one, but we're really going to make sure this one actually dries, unlike last time. Yeah, if you look at the last one, it looks really, really cool. but maybe not as well painted as the last one. But that's okay. Look, we are here on the learning journey. I know that this one isn't going to be perfect first time, but we can do our best. We won't actually prepare the next one in advance. We're actually going to move this other way for a minute, which is this one. Yep, and then we're just gonna snippy. I'm gonna use a different pair of tweezers for this one. Quite as clean as I was expecting, but it is not too bad either. Yeah, no, that's actually gone quite well, to be honest with you. I'm just going to add a small dab onto each corner here, just because I feel like that's actually quite well needed. We're not going to go to this bit next, not yet, because obviously I just need those little adjustments that I just made to dry. It's going to be hard to show you on camera, but it's not quite. Oh, I think I've just ruined that bit. Whoopsie. No, that's much better actually. I've now got it actually in the hole, whereas before it wasn't quite in. Yeah, that's pretty good. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do the same for this side. I'm just going to have to be very, very careful, very, very gentle with it. Hoping to do that a little bit easier. Did not go the way of my shaky hands. This is really not a hobby for those who shake like a madman. We haven't broken it yet, so technically nothing to fix. I'm just going to quickly zoom in on that so you guys can see it with a bit more detail what's actually going on. Where's my other ones? Oh, they're up here, aren't they? Some surgery. Now I've just got to get these into the holes. Got it in the front holes. What we're actually probably going to do is we're just going to glue that one up. Make sure it doesn't glue to the table. Just gently tap it on the top like that. That is perfect. That's exactly what we needed. You can see this is such a fine detail, small detail, but so important. Yeah, that's looking really, really good. You just need to let that dry a little bit. While we're waiting for that dry, we'll inspect this. Oh, you can see that's actually gone really, really well this time. This bit's the front, and there's a little bit of a gap. It's not perfect, but it has gone really, really well. And you can see this one's gone quite well as well. It's relatively straight. What I need to do now is flip this one over like that. Actually, just flatten that out just a little bit. And then we need to somehow glue this one onto this one again. It's the front because it's got the 3 lines on. See, it doesn't give me a finished product, so I'm gonna have to go off the last one, but I think I did it. Yeah, mine like that. Okay, cool. I just need to slide it slightly over. I hadn't even thought about maybe putting it upside down. That's a brilliant suggestion. Oh, my shaky hands have done it again. Sadly, there is no way to stop these shakies. Yeah, right, let's try that again. The good thing about poly cement is it literally melts and binds the plastic together. So with enough glue and enough patience and enough attempts, this will eventually stick. We could also add in a little bit of hidden putty down there just to like flesh it out a little bit, but I don't think we're going to need to do that right now. So what we're going to do is we're just going to leave it as it is. You can see, and let's try and zoom in a little bit on that so you guys can see it with a bit more detail. You can see that this is now quite balanced. It's quite nice. It's not perfect, but it is pretty close. We're just going to let that dry because that is going to have to then go in here with the other one. What we're going to do is we'll grab the warship and we'll put it in the background so you guys can see how far we've gotten already. Yeah, we really need to let that dry, and that's going to take a couple of good couple of minutes. The next one's going to be even more fiddly, and this is going to be where we're going to be making 2 of the gun turrets. Just as like a side note, where's E7? E7, so this is the base plate. You can see how small that is already, and then these have to go on the top, so very, very small part. this is the gun. So you can see how small that is, and that's the main gun. Where these go, I don't know. From what I remember, looking at it, oh no, these go on the side. These will probably go about here, maybe on these bits. Yeah, on these two. They're very small guns. I don't really know what they would be used for. Maybe like pirates. Well, actually, no, it could be the CIWS, the missile, anti-missile guns. It's actually probably more likely to be those. But they don't have the big like circles on the top, which I would have expected. Obviously, the front gun is the main, or is the primary like munitions for, I don't know, shooting pirates or something. Right, it should be dry enough now that we can start gluing up the holes here. It doesn't actually say to glue these on yet, but like, we know where they're going, and I'm really excited to get these on. We've done the other one, we might as well get this one. I mean, just look at that. That went on really, really smoothly, really, really quickly, and that is perfect. Wow, loving that. Cool. Right, moving on to the next one, which is the guns. They're probably arguably going to be even harder than that because there's even more fiddly parts. But these should, looking at it, should be rotatable actually. In fact, what we're going to do is we're actually going to skip immediately. Oh no, it's photo etched parts. Okay, yeah, no, we're going to cut out the gun. G17, which is this one here. Okay, we're going to cut this out and we're going to put the photo etched parts on now. It's going to need some sanding, I reckon. Photo etch parts are going to take longer to like set because they're not plastic, and I don't have any photo etched part like glue, so I wasn't sure what to get for it. So what we're doing here is we're just going to use a 3000 grit just to try and smooth it out a little bit. I actually want to go a little bit higher, like 1000. I know lower, but for point of this exercise, I'm going to call it higher because it's higher grit, lower number. Whoever thought that system, bit silly billy, but I guess it works. Yeah, cool. Quite happy with that. Just gonna actually just use the knife a little bit just to gently get a little bit more off like that. The sanding kind of worked, but it's a bit too fiddly and I'm very scared of breaking this barrel. This is going to be like one of, although we're making this now because the instructions say so, I probably won't add this for a while just in case I accidentally knock it when it's being like built and then accidentally snap one of these barrels, because it's not something that I will be able to 3D print easily. We need photo etch 33, which is these little circles here. Although saying that 3D printing any of this is going to be very, very difficult. Oh, this is going to be a fun one. I don't think this is a rotatable turret, but it's okay. Cool, that should settle in nicely there. I've actually just put that right in the way and I don't really want to move it. So we're going to have to move over a little bit onto this side. We're going to cut out E7, which is going to be the base plate for the gun. Sorry, I had to use so much focus there to ensure that went well. Right, that's E7, but then we also need E6, which is next to it, which is this one. And then what else do we need for this one? We also need E2, which is the tiniest little bit I think we have looked at so far. It's not quite true. We've had really, really little bits on this one that have been an absolute pain to cut out and use. But it's okay. At least we can actually use the tweezers. This bit's finally big enough to actually use the tweezers. Being careful with the sandpaper. I don't want to take any of this like side detailing that is on here. That's why I'm trying to use the scalpel with some degree of precision. Got to point out, we got to make 2 of these. What I might do here when I'm attaching this is use a bit of putty like we did on the front gun, so that it still has a bit of rotation. So we can move it. The gun won't elevate, unfortunately. I don't have the skills really to get that done, but certainly have the skills to get it to rotate a little bit, I guess. Right, but that can go in here, right? Yeah, and that will go quite nicely. But we should probably this first, but this also needs a bit of work. But where does it actually attach and how does it attach? Does it just go on randomly? It does. Oh, this is going to be awful. I can feel it now. This part is going to be awful. Thankfully that landed on my leg, because I'm not quite as grey as this. It's quite easy to see. Right, and then what we're going to do is we're going to grab this, but it's going to go on this side. Okay, that's quite easy to work with. We're going to attach the glue, and then we're just going to try and drop this in the right place and hope for the best. Yeah, like that. There's like nothing even to grab this from. That went surprisingly well, to be honest. I'm quite happy with that. Could have been a little bit better, but it did go quite well. We'll just wait for that to dry, because that's going to be mental. We've also got 2 photo etched parts to put on this. 4 photo etched parts that are the size of an ant's leg. So that's going to be a fun one to put on. I might actually put that on before putting it on the base. I might actually do it that way. I think it's going to be better. So we've got to get photo etched 18, which is both of these. So we'll cut off the first one. Probably going to see my head again while I try and get this perfectly precise. Cool. Right, that one is E18, so that goes on the left hand side. So let's try and flip this nicely. I'm actually going to tilt this upside down, and you're just going to have to trust the process on this one. There is a method to my madness, I do promise. Add a small amount of glue. Pick this one up as carefully as we can. So the reason I did it like that is, you see this lovely gap, it allows me to put my tweezers at either side. Whereas if we'd gone from the other side, there's a little bit of a bump. I'm not sure if it's perfectly viewable from this angle. I don't even think it was actually, you can even see that it's on there. Like, you can barely see it, but there is actually a little golden thing right here now. But it's so small. We're at like a 3.4 times view zoom on this, just to try and get it to show. That's how fiddly some of this stuff is. Right, the next one on that one is... That's actually a very good question. PE24A. Yeah, photo etch part 24. Okay, again, this is even worse. You're gonna see my head in this one because this is disgraceful. I do apologise about that. That's not what anyone wanted to see. Yeah, very messy hair today. don't have to put the photo etch parts on, but we're obviously going to. But just as an example of how small that is, you can't even see it on my hand, but it is actually here. So that's just a bit of the glue. Such a small part, and this goes on the other side. It's such a small detail, it really is not needed. But we're still going to be putting these stuff on. And then the photo edit, because we obviously want it to be as perfect as we can get. We are learning in everything that we do here. We also need PE21, which is here. So again, I'll try not to get my head in it this time. And this one goes up one higher, I think, by the looks of it. Again, why these are photo etched parts, I don't know. Personally, I don't see them adding that much detail into this, just except like an additional bulked out square that probably could have been injection molded, to be honest with you. But we're not going to complain because this is fun, right? This is fun, yeah. PE25. Are you actually? We are not putting PE25 in. This is just ridiculous at this point. I don't know if I can even get it to come up. This tiny little bit here, which is about 1 millimeter by 1 millimeter, has to then go on to the tiniest of little gaps on either side here. I do not have that level of skill. Okay, not by any stretch of imagination, and I'm not even going to attempt it at this point. Like that is a stretch too far, I think, for my skills. It's a shame. Yeah, I don't want to miss anything, but at the same time, that I'm taking the executive decision. I am not going to be able to do that. Yeah, we'll put the ones on the back. We probably won't put the others on because it is just insane. Like, it is not adding any detail at all that I think is important. This one is, and we actually need to rotate this and do the other one now. But yeah, it's just not actually feasible. Obviously, I would love for this to be perfect, every single part attached, but that's not possible with my skills. Give it maybe a year of building these, might be possible. But we've only got like 6 hours of building models, so. be interesting to see how other people do that. Maybe they have like microscopic glasses or something. Which is probably the thing, to be honest. But I do not have any photo edge part 10. Right, okay, no, I can do that. Photo edge part 31. I don't even know where you would put that. You've got to... Are you actually being serious? So, I'm just going to bring up the instructions for you guys to see this. We've got 2 parts here, okay? 2 parts. They need to be folded up together. Folded up to then make another part. They've got to be folded so precisely and not snapped. This is my first ever model build. How am I supposed to do that? I'm going to give it a go. I'm obviously going to give it a jolly good go. I cannot imagine this going well in any way, shape or form. I think I've already ruined it though. I'm actually getting quite lucky with this. My new display tweezers are allowing me to do this almost perfectly. Sorry, I should actually be showing you how I'm doing this. Just trying to use all my concentration. Like the shape of the actual blend, or I like the bit that actually angles in, is almost the exact shape that I need it to be in. It's not perfect, but blind man would be pleased to see it. No. I've screwed it. It's not bad, but it's a bit higgledy-piggledy and misshapen. I'm just like trying to flatten it out again with the tweezers. It's not perfect, but it is actually not as bad as I was expecting. Oh wow, that was tough, that one. Now I've got to work out a way of attaching this without it all falling apart. I think this is a good time to actually put it on the solid base, so that's exactly what we're going to do. Because that way we can at least keep the whole thing straight. I'm going to use our tweezers to kind of like clamp that in. Again, it's not perfect, but it is pretty solid, pretty good. That shouldn't take too long to glue either, because we don't need it to be like perfectly glued. We just need it to be stable enough to then pop the gun. Does this not have to sit on anything? That's the bit I'm concerned about. It's perfectly smooth in there. So I don't know how this is going to work. This could go awfully wrong. Actually not able to get this in with the photo edge parts. Oh. He's only gone and done it. He's only gone and done it. Get that in a bit further. And I think what we're going to do is we're actually going to tilt it up slightly. Again, it is far from perfect with those photo edge parts as well, not making it easy. But it is in. It is actually in. It is in. That is incredible. And then I don't even know how to get this photo etched part in. I just don't see a way of actually gluing it in. I can see why this is a necessary part, though I just don't think I've got the skill to put this in right now. I will try, obviously. Tell you what, I think I've actually done it. We'll never ever be able to move out of this position. As long as it looks good from the top, I'm happy. Oh no, bugger. That is not what we wanted. I just dropped it and I've broken it, and this has all gone wrong. It was doing so well. And it's gone flying. Tell you what, that's actually pretty good. I'm impressed with that. That photo etched part did not go on very well, but it has gone on, and we are going to leave it because that is actually adds quite a lot of detail. It's actually quite cool, and I'm actually glad I tried to put it in. I know we need to cut out E5. So let's get E5 out. Yeah, we're good. As you've probably just seen, we are going to skip over that quite quickly indeed. Let's do E4 first, because this one I think is going to be the most important. I think this needs a little nubbin. Because that needs to go into a hole in the top, so we'll try that out. I believe that this is the rangefinder. I just need to do a little bit of sanding with 1000 up at the top here. Not too much to scrape any of the shaping off, but just enough to get rid of some of the excess plastic. And then we are just going to dribble a little bit of cement in this hole here. My shaky hands have done it again and again. Thing is, it doesn't quite go into the hole. The hole's a little bit not too deep enough. So So as long as I can get it kind of like that, I can then just add the glue, because that glue will then cement it into place, which is exactly what we want. The next bit, E5 and E3, are even more fiddly. Okay, so what we have here is we have E3, which is like, I would assume, like a light or radar dish, and then E5, which the radar dish sits on. However, this E5 here doesn't really match up very well to the picture. And I'm assuming that's because part of the sprue here, yeah, from the back you can actually see, not very well on camera. Even with the new camera, the details are a little bit shaky when it comes to stuff this small. When we're at like this small detail, it doesn't matter what camera we get, we're always going to have difficulty trying to like show how small these bits are, and the detail that needs to be there but isn't quite because of injection molding. Right, that bit actually came off quite well, and I didn't cut myself, even though I stabbed it. Cool. Right, next one is the E3, which is the, I'm assuming, radar dish. I'm assuming that this is something like the CIWS, but the Chinese equivalent, which would use a machine gun followed by radar to then shoot down any oncoming or incoming missiles. I don't actually know what the Chinese equivalent is called. I will have to look that up in a minute. This, again, is an incredibly fiddly part, but it should be alright. Again, the gap is not quite big enough for it to work properly. But I may have just been able to fix that a little bit, so it should be alright. Again, it's not the most perfectest of gluing attempts I've ever done. Not bad either. A little bit of sanding once this is dry will go a long way, I think, just to flesh this bit out. Just a very, very, very small loose dab, just to finalize that cementing process. And that's going to look fantastic. I've done it at a slight angle as well, so that should look really, really good. Again, sorry, you're seeing a lot of my hair in there. I've got to really... These parts are so small that I'm really having to look close. Just wait for that one to dry. I love how in like 4 hours we've done maybe 1.5 steps. No, no, not even one step. No, I'll take that back. We really just need to let that dry, and it's going to take a while to dry because it's not too warm today, which is good. If you're just tuning in, welcome to the stream. It's fantastic to have you along. We're building Type 054A FFG PLA Navy ship. Really having great fun. It's a Trumpeter model. Yeah, no, it's good. It's really fun actually. Having lots of fun with it. Very fiddly though. Very fiddly. Some of these parts are really small. One of the reasons I went for this ship is I thought it'd be relatively easy. It's quite a chunky ship, as you know, very geometric, as all modern warships are. But it's deceptively easy. Sorry, deceptively hard. Especially as, you know, it's my first ever warship build, so... Well, like model kit build anyway. Right, that's gone quite well. We're going to just add a small spattering of cement onto the side there just to seal that up a little bit. And then one gun turret down. It's not fantastic, don't get me wrong. It's not the best. But it is... But it is quite good. Very impressed with that, to be honest with you. We'll just place that over there because that is eventually where it will sit, obviously. But we're just going to put that out of the way and let that dry. Then we can just start the next one. But just give me a moment. I'm just going to take a quick break.
Computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Right, I'm back, and now we've got to do all of that process again for the second gun turret. Fun indeed, and long, and that is fine. But complicated, very complicated. So let's go back, and then we'll start getting this done. No, I'm really enjoying this build. It's a really cool ship, really cool build. Obviously, has not got any like naval service history. Most modern warships don't, because, well, hasn't been many like huge naval wars going on recently, thankfully. Yeah, obviously the Ali Burke has seen some action in the Middle East. HMS Dragon, yeah, quite a few warships now have seen some action. But when it obviously comes to the Chinese Navy, they have not, which is quite good, in my opinion. Because I think if the Chinese Navy unleashed their warships on the world, we would all tremble. Because the Chinese Navy warships are fantastic. The Renhai Destroyer is arguably, to experts, and to myself, I'm not an expert, but I can read stats, is arguably the second most powerful warship in the world. Only second to the USS Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier. When you're only beaten by an aircraft carrier, you've got a pretty cool ship. Now, obviously, when you start factoring like training, naval doctrine and stuff, it then starts to fall back a little bit. Obviously, China's never been in a naval war. They've not really necessarily got the handling and training. You know, America's had a navy for like what, 200 years, 150 years. Britain has had a navy since time began, and boats existed. You know, so the training behind that is quite immense, whereas obviously China doesn't quite have that training yet. But they are developing it, and it would be fantastic one day to see what they are actually capable of. I think they actually have one of the biggest navies in the world now, if not the biggest. I don't know if they've overtaken the Americans yet. But like the sheer scale of some of their ships are fantastic. The Renhai, as I said, is a force to be reckoned with. Well, it's cool. It's really cool. But that's why we're making the Type 54. I couldn't get a Type 55, so I thought I'd settle with the Type 54. And they have quite a lot of them. Quite a lot of them indeed. The Type 54 alone, I was doing a bit of research. So the Type 54 has... Oh, I don't even know. I can't be bothered to count. But they have a lot. And they have different variants of it as well. There are 30 ships already. Next batch of 10 ships commissioned from 2022, and another final batch of 10 ships to the 54AG variant are being introduced into service from 2024. So they're currently being put in, but they've been interrupted by two being built of the Type 54B frigate. So we're on the Type 54A FFG. There are different subclasses. You've obviously got the 818 class patrol cutter, which is Chinese Coast Guard. Each one costs, according to like a 2015 estimate, to be about 350 or 348 million US dollars. There's 50 planned, and there's currently 42 active. So that's really, really cool. Quite a lot of them. Now, obviously, the armaments that we're building at the moment are the two 30mm. Oh no, it's not a 7-barrel gun, is it? Oh, it might actually be, yeah, the 2x30mm Type 737 barrel gun-based CIWS, or Type 1 130 11-barrel. It's the closest I can get to seeing what these are. Yeah, they do look like it. Yeah, it's the Type 730 or Type 1130 CIWS. It's the Chinese version of CIWS. Obviously, each country has their own version. You know, NATO have theirs, China has theirs, Russia has theirs, and they're all slightly different, but all basically operate in the same way. Right, what side was it on again? I think it's this side, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, this has 2 of those CIWS on it. These will be used to like shoot down missiles. They'll be used to shoot down drones. They'll be used to shoot down basically anything that the radar locks onto that's coming towards the ship at intense speed. The rocket launchers that we built earlier on in the stream, they are actually anti-ship missiles. You've got 2 of them. They're YJ-83 anti-ship missiles, basically designed to sink other ships around them. It can only fire 8 missiles. I'm assuming they have stocks and can reload it on the fly. But yeah, they only carry 8 on deck at any one time. And they've also got one 32 cell HAKJ 16 VLS HHQ 16 surface to air missiles. I think they can also carry anti-submarine missiles. That's what we built here. So this will be a 32 cell vertical launch system missile system, like whichever missiles they decide to put in. Whether they're going to be surface-to-air missiles or anti-sub missiles, but they'll probably be surface-to-air for most warfare types. At some point, I'm assuming we're going to be building the torpedo launchers. It has two 3-barrel 324mm torpedoes, and it also has 2 × 6 Type 87 anti-submarine rocket launchers, which I actually think maybe ER stands for audio. Yeah, I think that's what these are. These are the anti-sub launchers. So I was wrong when I called them hedgehogs, but they are roughly based on that. Like back in the day, that is what they would have probably been based off of. The hedgehogs were developed by the US, I believe, and they were used to hunt submarines in World War II. And in fact, I think it was after the Pearl Harbor bombing, when Americans were starting to make their way over to Japan, Japan relied on its only defense, really, or really relied on an early warning system of its submarines. And they had, I think it was about 17 submarines laid out in the waters, like quite far away, but as like an early warning. And I can't remember which ship it was, but it chased them down and sunk each and every single one of them, mostly with its hedgehogs. And it was really cool. Obviously devastating for Japan at the time. And they lost, obviously they lost. And one could reasonably argue, in part, that was because of their submarines being sunk. I think I've just realised I may have done this back to front. No, I didn't. Okay. Cool. Right, now we have the photo etched parts again. Joys 18 and 21 and 24. As we've done it on the other one, we might as well do it on this one. There's no reason to skip steps that we've already done. And they've got to at least match, so. Right, the next one is 24, which goes at the bottom, which is this one here. We have actually slightly missed the cut there. This one, hold that down and then just take a bit of an extra snip on this bit here. Again, same again, we're just going to add a dab of glue here. It's a bit too much glue actually, maybe a bit way too much. No, oh, I've just taken the other one off. And that one has gone flying, and I have no idea where that's just gone. Well, that could have literally gone everywhere. It's such a small part. No, no, that's not coming back. I'll tell you what, I'm wondering. Okay, we're just not gonna have photo etch parts on this one because it's gone. It is flown away. I don't know where that's gone. That is never gonna be found again. It's probably in the depths of my carpet somewhere. That's the other one, unfortunately. We can try putting that on, but it's already fallen off. We can try, but it should look a bit odd if... I found it! Oh my god, I found it! I actually found it. It went up there. Okay. I can't believe we found that. We have gotten so lucky with some of these drops. And then the last one is PE21. Now, we've already done 21. Yeah, no, we got them a bit the wrong way around, but it's fine because these are the exact same. For 18 and 21, we just got them the wrong way around. But it's fine, they are the same. They're just on different sides. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, nice. Right, okay, that's that one. We do actually need to put the photo etch parts on for the gun as well, which is obviously 33, and we also need to cut out 17, so let's cut 17 out first. So yeah, we'll try and get in as close as possible on this one. I really don't want to do any more sanding on this one. Nah, not as quite as close as I needed it to be. I'm actually seeing though on this that there is a little like circle that the thing needs to go into, the photo etch part, so we're going to try and get that right this time, but it is going to be so difficult. I'm cutting up my fingers big time on this one. Thankfully it's not deep enough that it's going to bleed. Cool. Yeah, it's not going to be cool, and then we'll get the barrel out or whatever this thing is, the rotating coil. And then we're going to try and actually get this on that hole. Whether it's going to fit, I don't know. I'd be very surprised. So what we might try and do here is just smooth it all out. Use a nice 400 grit. Nice, that came off quite well. And we'll go on the other side as well. Cool. And we just dabble a little drop onto that. Yeah, that's looking good on that one. We'll have to flip that over at some point and get that on. But we're not going to do it right now. What we're going to do is we're going to double this one onto this one and get this one on. It's so much faster when you know what you're doing. This one's going infinitely better than the last one. Cool, let's take another drink. So yeah, just doing a little bit more research on the looking of on the Wikipedia just shortly. These front ones are in fact the Type 87 anti-submarine rocket launchers, depicted on the Woohoo, which is 539. We're not going to be doing the 539 as per the thumbnail. We'll probably be building the 568. The 568 is the Hongyang from the city of Hongyang. I don't know where that is in China. It's not the area. It's not an area I've been to. It's in the Hunan province. Straddles the Xiang River. Oh, it's yeah, okay, south of the provincial capital Changsha. I've actually been to Changsha. It's fantastic. If you ever get the chance to go, absolutely go. So yeah, that's why I guess even more reason to do the Hongyang number 568. I hope this will allow me to do 568. Otherwise, I can just get the figures printed out. That's absolutely fine. But yeah, Changsha food, fantastic. If you ever get the chance to go, I would absolutely go. If you're in the UK and you're still in 2026, you're still watching in 2026, you can actually get visa-free travel. So I would take advantage of that while you can, because it is fantastic. I greatly enjoyed going to Changsha. The food was absolutely insane. If you like spicy food or you just like tasty food, go to Changsha. Obviously, being British, you know, where our cultural food is fish and chips. You know, not very fun. But going to Changsha, you actually get to taste good food with flavour. I know we don't know what that is in the UK, but it's this really good thing that makes things taste good. Plus the food's not brown, which is quite good. Yeah, all food in the UK is brown. Or beige. And that's practically the flavour of British food as well. Beige. Right, what we need to do here is we need to cut out the quad. The little like foldy thing. I'm going to try and get this right this time. First time. I'll use this one this time. You know what? That actually went really, really well first time, so I'm quite happy with that one. Getting a little bit ahead of ourselves because we haven't glued the thing on yet. We can actually start preparing E4 and E5 and E3. Right, so let's start off with E5. Move that out a little bit, and then we'll cut out the radar dish as well, which is E3. We'll try and get this right again this time, because last time we didn't quite get it right. Oh yes, it went in first time. Amazing. That's exactly what we needed. Unfortunately, it's stuck to the tweezers now. No, get off, get off, get off. Oh my god, it's actually stuck to the tweezers. Cool, I got it off. Just gonna quickly wipe off the tweezers on a bit of tissue. There we go, nice. I know this bit is really, really fiddly and it's very difficult to see. I can assure you it's even harder to build it. No, it is really, really difficult. I will zoom in for the next video because we've got a fun bit of the gun. So we get to put this little gun barrel. Let's try and get that nicely in like that. And we're going to try and put this in here. We'll try and get it right this time. We're just going to blob some dough on either side with the cement. And then hope for the best on getting this in first time, unlike last time. Although saying it didn't go that badly last time, so. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. It's actually gone in really, really well this time. If you guys guys can see that very clearly. It's gone in really, really well, and it's actually gone in quite straight as well, which is quite nice. We'll let that glue, and then we'll attach on the, obviously, the front guard, which is like impossible to see. I will zoom back out a little bit. Yeah, nice. Very impressed with that one. This one's probably going to look better than the other turret, just because obviously it's not the first time. It was last time was obviously the first one. I'm going to add a dab of glue here. This time we'll pick it up from a different angle. Probably like this angle, and then we'll just try and drop this in above. I've just got to work out which one's the right one, or right side. I think it's this one, and we're just gonna gently place it in with some tweezers. Like that. Oh, that is beautiful. That's gone so well. Oh my god. It's not perfectly straight. I'm just trying to straighten it out now. I mean, that is as good as it's going to get, isn't it? That is fantastic. Now I've made it wonky again. Whoops. I know I'm covering up a little bit here. I do apologise. This is really, really finicky to do. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Let's leave it before we damage it any further. Oh no, but I've put it upside down. Amazing. And we're just going to add a little double of glue right onto the top there. Hopefully just secure that in place. It's looking way better than the other one. I mean, the other one still looks good. I mean, if we look on here, you can see it still looks really, really good. You know, it spins around, looking really good. We'll putty that in so it can still move. We're not obviously there yet. Now the next step is we need to cut out, which number is it? E4, which is this piece here. Again, another small one. We have actually got to take off the crown here because this is just an additional piece of plastic. We'll get that nice off. We will just smooth that out with a bit of sandpaper, and then we'll just gently snip there. Hopefully this one isn't too long and it will fit quite nicely. Yeah, right, that's looking quite smooth now. We can just drop that on. Right, now I've got to make sure I get this the right side. Right way around. Right, this one goes on the left. Small dollop of glue. Amazing. It's not quite straight, and it's not actually centered. There, and that's focused. Trying to get it to focus is interesting, but it's still doing far better than the Elgato one. So, oh, I just hit the camera stand. I do apologise. amazing. Right, we're just gonna leave that. While we just leave that. Let that dry. Oh, if I touch that, it's gonna go all wrong. I actually need to move out of the way though. Yeah. Wow. Okay, so the next bit is I've got to make 8 of them. Oh. What on earth is the next bit? So the next one is really, it looks really interesting. We've got make 8, make 4, make 2, make 2, make 2. I'm assuming this is all like the detail that then goes placing around somewhere. Yeah. Wow, okay. Okay. Really, really, really little bits here. But so the first thing I think we should focus on is P-17E8. This will go behind the rocket launchers or the anti-ship missiles, and then stop them, obviously setting fire to the deck. Really, obviously a really important part, and we've got E8 for that, which is this one. It's going to be relatively simpler to do, I think. So maybe a bit more visible on the camera. And we've also got more photo etched parts, which is upsetting. I mean, it's cool, don't get me wrong, but like the photo etched parts are so fragile and so delicate. We do have to be really, really careful. Okay, I've gone way too deep there. Love how we haven't even like really done that much painting yet, and we're like 8 hours in. There may be even more than 8 hours at this point. So I'm just using a 1000 grit just to like take off some of the harshness from my very bad cutting skills there. Yeah, I'm trying not to sand too much overall, because it just kicks up so much dust, and also I don't want to get rid of any of the like finer details in some of these parts. I'll do the same for the next one. Awesome. Alright, now we've got to work out which one's which. Right, so we've got 2 little bits there. Yeah, gun 1, gun 2, let's move them out of the way before they get damaged. Right, these have to go directly behind. There is a small line. I don't think you can see that. I'm going to try and bring it up to the camera. It's very hard to see, but you can just about... Let me point it out with the tweezers. You can just about see it here. The ever so slightly small line. It's so hard to see. That's effectively what needs to line up here. And we've got the photo edge part to do this with, and that's going to be effectively impossible, I think. But we need number 17, which is this one here, so we've got to like really fine cut this. I have just bent it, but I'm aware. I'm going to have to somehow flatten this out. This is what I mean by the photo etched parts are so delicate. I don't even know how I'm going to fix that, to be honest with you. The tolerance in these tweezers is enough that it can't actually like perfectly flatten this out. And this is supposed to be... Oh, wow, okay. Yeah, I mean, this is just insane at this point. This bit's probably not going to look very good, thankfully. It's hopefully going to be mostly hidden. Oh, we might actually have better luck placing this with a bit of putty, just to like add a bit of structural support. I've just realised as well that I haven't cut it perfectly. I'm actually going to have to quickly go in and do that now. Yeah, I'm going to try with glue, but I think we're going to have to putty it. It just immediately falls down because it's so thin. But I don't understand why you would do this on that photo etching card. It's just so thin. I have actually done it though. That is incredible. Desperately need to let that dry though. Don't really want to touch that without any issues, because that will just completely mess up. And then we've got to do the same again for the other thing. I'll try not to bend this one though. I don't know how, there's like a YouTuber who did this in like half an hour. I mean, he is skilled, very skilled, way more skilled than I am, but half an hour as well. Whew. I don't think I'll even do this in 30 hours. Got a nice double of glue there. I'm really working hard on this one. It's not giving me any room for error. Yeah, this one is not, it's just refusing to play ball with this one. I might have to use my fingies for this one. I've got it to stand up and I just got to move it into position. And that is not easy, that's easier said than done. No, I think I've done it, Perfect. Let's quickly put this one down before I mess it up any further. Wow. What a fiddly part. What a fiddly part indeed. That will actually stand up quite nicely. Wow though. That's finicky at best. We can actually get D out and just do the quick and easy one. Let's do that one, because that'll be quite nice and relaxing, because that was not relaxing. D9 and D8, which are these two here. We'll just quickly cut them out on both sides. Yep, and then what we'll do is we'll grab 1000 grit and we'll just very nicely smooth that around a little bit. We don't want to smooth it out too much yet, because that's going to be the job when these two are glued together, because we want it to be like sanded evenly. Oh, it's gone. It's Thankfully it's big enough for my eyes to see this one. Right, okay, this one's going to be an interesting one to glue. Oh, dropped it again. This one's going to be, yeah, quite interesting. So we'll just, again, you use the thin cement, dabble it in certain areas. Like that. And then we're going to just lower this one on gently from here. We've got to really line this one up. Again, this one is going to be puttied probably just to fill in the gaps, and then we'll smooth it around, because this one is, I don't understand, but there's no like centered bits that are like, oh yeah, glue this bit and put a bit, like little like nobbins that like stick together. But we've seen in the past, this one's just random, just do your best. We can also make 4 E27s. Wow, these are really small bits. Constantly just ultra small bits. And this is the finer detail. This is where it's really gonna obviously look the best. We don't actually have E24 on here, so that's a bit concerning. Oh, it's because it's 27, 28. Oh, 27, 28. Okay, these are lights. These are actually quite big. There's 27. There's 28. And we need to make 4 of these. So we can make 2 from this sprue, 2 from the other sprue. Make sure that's nice and clipped in, and then we can just scrape off a bit of that top bit. Again, we'll sand it just to get a smooth all round. Again, this one does not have any kind of assistance with gluing, which makes it very interesting and quite annoying. It does have quite chunky parts though that might actually go well together. Sorry, because I'm like so focused on the small parts, I'm not actually looking at the microphone. The microphone's above me, and obviously I'm looking down. It's not going to pick up everything, unfortunately. That actually looks cool, right? Okay, we'll put that away to the side, and we'll do the same for the next one. Actually, add a double here, add a double here. Yeah, right, cool. We're gonna make more of them. Okay, these are quite nice, simpler parts. Not too upset by these. It's not quite as bad as the photo etch parts on the previous one. That was just mental. There are ones here that do require photo etch, and that's going to be an absolute pain. So we're going to probably leave that for the next stream. We're going to finish these bits up, and then we'll probably call it quits for the day, because we've been streaming for nearly 3 hours, and my back is starting to, well, actually, no, just over 2 hours. Okay, I'm stretched out. But my back's starting to get quite tired because I'm having to constantly hunch forward. The camera quality is insane, which I'm very happy about. Certainly improves the video. And we're just doing like small, like 2-hour manageable chunks, really. I think if the video is too long, it's going to put some of you guys off rewatching. And obviously, the longer we do it, the worse the concentration is going to get. But we'll of course attach all of these parts that we've put on. Dang. So we actually have measurable progress. So at the moment, you know, we're making lots of these fine little details, which is great. But technically, the only thing we've actually built on the ship is the is one rocket launcher. Well, not rocket launcher, but anti-ship missile system. Not a lot. Very hard to talk to the microphone as well as actually focusing on the ship build, unfortunately. If you're just tuning in, it's fantastic to have you along on a Sunday evening. Right, that's all on there. We got 4 of them. That's exactly what we needed. Right. I'm hoping that these are now stable enough. I tell you what, actually, we're not going to put these on right now. I'm actually going to use the putty. We have Vallejo plastic putty. I'm just going to put a small dab behind it. And the idea behind this is just to add a bit of structure to this when this dries. A bit of a cheat, I know, but I think it's going to be really, really helpful. Really helpful indeed, actually, just to add a bit more structure behind those. Because remember, they're going to have to go on behind here, and if those are shaky, that's going to completely screw it all up. I mean, we've done quite a lot today. I'm probably going to call it there. We've done quite a lot. It doesn't look like it, but we have. If you look over like into these bits, we've got the 2 guns here. We've got some like radar stuff. I wonder if I can actually pick this up now and actually, you know, not the best focus on there. I do apologise. But we have got quite a lot of progress done. It just doesn't look like it because they're so small and finicky and it takes so long. But we did complete an entire step, step 9, which is impressive. But averaging 1 step every 2 hours is mental. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed it. It's been fantastic to have you along. And we'll continue building in the next stream. This is going to be an ongoing project. It's going to be on the channel for a while. So if you are enjoying, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and stay up to date with the next part. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one. It's goodbye from Lunar. Goodbye.